So hello and welcome back to Play Being, the home of insights into improving well-being through games and play. I'm Rob and I'm joined for the last time this week by Natalie.
Hey there.
And by Sarah.
Hi.
Mental Health Awareness Week draws to a close in the UK today and tomorrow. And we've been playing a game every day this week, during which we chat about mental health matters. All three of us are mental health professionals, but this week we've been powerful Planeswalkers battling for supremacy, playing Magic the Gathering. If you don't know how to play or you want to check out our progress so far, do check out our other videos. And we've been playing a kind of points-based system, and at the moment, Sarah has edged into the lead with 12 points, and Natalie, our sort of magic novice, is 1 point behind on 11, and then I'm on 7 as well. So there we go. But today it's double points Friday today, so it's 10 points for a win, 6 for second, and 2 for third. None of which does me particularly any good, but never mind. There we go. So Natalie, today is basically your fourth hand of Magic that you've really ever played, and in with a chance to take the title. This is it's been a roller coaster.
Proud. Oh.
So this week we've been playing with pre-constructed Planeswalker decks to which we've substituted cards from various sets. Today we've been adding in cards from a themed booster, a 35 card pack from War of the Spark. I mentioned War of the Spark in a previous video. It was the first release of Magic that I attended an event for, and it is packed full of Planeswalkers of varying levels of ability. The games this week, a lot of them they've been decided by the use of Planeswalkers, so it could be very exciting today. Now, we're probably not going to reveal too many details about our decks, but I could not have planned my pack any better, and it stretches credulity to suggest that this was random. But in my pack, I drew the updated version, another Zhang Yangu Planeswalker, and 2 Mowus in the pack that I opened, which was exactly what I wanted to see, and some other artwork featuring the 2 of them as well. So I have to put those to be on theme into my deck. I've made some vicious substitutions, excluding the land. So from like the 35 cards in my original deck, I think I've got 6 left from the original deck. One of which is my Planeswalker, and 2 of which fetch my Planeswalker. So it's changed a bit in its scope. Natalie, any kind of veiled threats from what you've added into your deck at all?
Added a few more sorcery and instant cards. I mean, as you said, I'm a bit of a novice, so I'm just like, this card looks pretty, let's throw it in. So
sometimes you just got to roll. Sometimes you got to roll with the aesthetic, I think. Absolutely.
Exactly.
And Sarah, I mean, you're looking quietly confident. Is there some? You've added some bombs into your deck.
I mean, yeah, as my slogan the whole way through this is go big or go home. So I've gone big. So hopefully it pays off.
It's very, very much the green philosophy, I think, is go big or go home, which is interesting because the theme of mental health awareness this week has been nature and how to use it. So it's nice to have a lot of green representation in our decks. Although mine's got a really odd split identity between a lovely forest and burn the forest. So
my deck's just burn the forest.
Got a bit of an identity crisis. So, but anyway, we're going to start as we always do with a roll of the dice to determine turn order. 1 to 6, it means I'm going to decide. 7 to 12, Natalie will decide. 13 to 18, Sarah will decide. 19 to 20, we will roll again. It's a 1, which is my 3rd win out of 4 rolls.
Well, you've got to win something.
Well, thank you, Natalie.
That was fight talk.
I was just about to let Natalie go first as well, and I'm now going to rescind that and take first place myself. And I will put Natalie. I will put you in second, Natalie, but I'll happily take it down to third if you've got any other
I'll
sort of
be
scathing
quiet.
comments to make.
No, don't be. Throw more in, Natalie.
Oh, getting my game face on.
No, you know what? I'm behind. I'm out to reclaim some glory. I'm very happy to go first. I'm just going to give my deck a nice little micro shuffle. So myself, Natalie, and then Sarah is the order we will run. So if we take a hand of 7. Let's see what we've got. So far, so good. I think I can make that work. Are we all happy?
I'm happy.
I mean, are we content with the hand that we've drawn?
Yeah, it'll do.
Excellent.
It'll do, Pig. It'll do.
So before we start the game today, I've got to address a slight injustice that you did to yourself, Natalie. You're making life, going back reviewing the footage, you were making life more difficult for yourself in one of the games. Due to I think slightly misunderstanding one of the symbols on the card for your blister spit gremlin. It had an ability whereby it dealt us damage, and you were paying a mana and returning it to your hand. But all you needed to do was tap it to turn it. That's what the little arrow means. Despite the fact you were inventing hurdles for yourself with that, you still managed to beat me with it. So
okay, well that's nice to know. See,
just in case anyone was watching and picked that up, and but it's difficult playing over Zoom because we can't really read each other's cards very well.
Yeah.
So Natalie's been very much thrown in the deep end as a sort of a trainee without the benefit of Sarah and I really being able to help her out particularly.
That's
like
why
I
I lost last game, because I couldn't read Sarah's card. And that's why I.
That's it, and yeah, you would have had first place otherwise. But just remember, if you've still got your blister spit in your hand, it's much easier to use than you imagined. So don't try not to ping us too much with it, but you know, it's there and available. But anyway, enough words. Let's start with unexpectedly a forest, and passing the go to you, Natalie.
Okay, going to draw a card. And I'm going to play down a mountain. And yeah, I'm going to pass my go.
Okay, so I will draw. And I will play, obviously, a land. And pass my go.
Okay, here we go. Drawing. Okay, I'm going to play down a mountain, tap them both, and I'm going to summon a Zertan Goblin. So it's a 2/2 and has an ability called Riot, which means when it enters the battlefield, it can come in with one of two things. My choice of a +1/1 counter on it, or it can come in with haste. So it means it's able to attack this turn straight away. You know what? I'm gonna play it cautiously. I'm just gonna put a +1/1 counter on it. There we go. So it's now a 3/3, but it's summoning sick, so it can't do anything. And I will pass the go to you, Natalie.
Okay. Draw a card. And I am going to play down a mountain. Boop. And am I going to do anything? I'm going to tap both and play down a Heartfire Immolator. This is a 2/2. And yeah.
It has an interesting effect when when you play some kind of spell does it?
Oh yes, so it's got
Seems
prowess.
okay.
So whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets plus 1/1 until the end of its turn.
Okay, there we go. So on the lookout for those non-creature spell buffs.
Cool. And I pass my turn.
Okay, so I should draw and play a land, and that's my turn. I really went big.
It's just a deck full of whales now, isn't it? Right, drawing. Okie dokie, lovely. I am going to play a forest, and I am going to tap them all and play down an evolution sage. So this creature has an ability that from now on, whenever a land enters the battlefield under my control, I get to proliferate. Now, proliferate is where I can choose any number of permanents and or players, whether they're my creatures, your creatures, yourself, and I can give them another counter of each kind they already have. So, for instance, if Sarah had an energy counter, I could choose to give her a counter, but that's unlikely. If my creatures have got +1 counters on, I might choose to give them another counter. But it also works for Planeswalkers, because their loyalty is considered a counter. So I could buff up their loyalty by 1 each time I play a land. So interesting interactions to be had. But for now, what your immolator, Natalie, what's the spec on that?
2/2.
2/2. Well, I've got a 3/3 goblin here, so I'm going to tap that and declare it as an attacker coming towards you, Natalie. 3 damage.
It doesn't have trample, does it?
It does not, no.
Okay, so I'm going to take the hit.
I think
So
that's fair under the circumstance.
Yeah, I don't want to get rid of my immolator yet. Boom.
Isn't that an item? Isn't that a device for removing hair?
I think that's
Immolator.
epilator, but
Epilator,
Right.
very different thing.
I thought it was peculiar. But anyway, that's the end of my go.
Okay, my turn. So I'm going to untap my land, draw a card. I am going to play a mountain.
Solid.
And I am going to, yeah, why not? Tap all 3 and play Stormcaller. So when Stormcaller enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to each opponent.
Oh, right, there we go.
So both you and Sarah
Down to
deal 2
18.
damage. There we go. And and so whenever I cast a non-creature spell, so would that count as a non-creature spell?
So that I see where you're coming from, Natalie. So you cast a creature spell and it had an ability that happened. So the damage that happens to us isn't a non-creature spell. That's literally when you play
like a side effect.
Yes, exactly. So a non-creature spell is something you've paid mana to cast from your hand.
No, that makes sense. Don't worry then. Ignore what I was about to say then. And I pass my turn.
I think it's for the best, Natalie. I think not quite ready to take your damage yet. So I'll draw.
Once there's a wall of whales on the table,
then go for it. Go for it.
It's going to be different.
Okay, so I'm going to tap both of these and introduce my first creature, which is a human warrior. It has trample. And whenever a creature with a power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under my control, I put a +1/1 counter on my warrior.
Is that a crunch wrangler by any chance?
It is a crunch wrangler, yes.
Which is a lot of fun to say.
It is. And really fierce artwork. I appreciate that.
Nice.
And that's me for now.
And I'll take this as an opportunity to really appreciate the way that when Sarah plays a creature, she 9 times out of 10 says she's going to introduce us to it. It's a very friendly way of casting creatures onto the board. I've really loved that over the course of this week, Sarah. But before I take my turn, it's time for our final study break with RUXA, Patient Professor. And for today's study break, we're looking at a concept which we use regularly in the treatment of low mood and depression. And this is identifying activities that will help you feel better, break cycles of behavior, and help you to do the things that matter most to you based on your values and your preferences. This involves scoring activities in 4 areas: achievement, so whether you feel like you've accomplished anything; closeness, which is how you feel connected to other people; enjoyment, I think we are on board with that; and importance. And sometimes we combine this by giving like a sort of score out of 10 for our mood score for the day. We sort of jot these things down as we do them. And by doing it, we identify the activities which might actually be helpful for us to prioritize when we're feeling low in mood, lacking in motivation, or certain things we're not enjoying anymore. We'll unpack a little bit about what that can look like in a kind of day-to-day fashion later on in the show, I guess. There we go. So for my turn, I'm going to untap my goblin and my lands. I'm going to draw. I'm going to play down a forest. Okay. I do not know what I'm going to do here. Okay, I do know exactly what I'm going to do. I take it back. I'm going to tap all 3 of my... Oh, I'm going to tap... Yeah, no. Yeah, it doesn't matter. 3 mana, anyway. And I'm going to introduce the first Planeswalker of the game, Kiora, Behemoth Beckoner. Now, she starts with 7 loyalty. So I'll use another D20 for her loyalty. And whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under my control, I draw a card. She only has 1 ability, and it's a -1 ability, and that is to untap a target permanent. So I can use her to untap a land or untap a creature during, well, at any point I like, really, but only, of course, once per turn. What were the stats on your crunch wrangler?
2/1.
Okie dokie. Well, in that case, I am going to, and I've already missed my evolution stage trigger for playing a land. That's my bad. I need to be more on top of that. But I'm going to attack you with both of my creatures. So it's a 3/2. There's a 3/3 and a 3/2. It's what they are.
3/3 and a 3/2.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess either way, I'll be taking a little bit. So I will use my lovely warrior to block one of you.
Which one would you like to block? The one with 3 health or the one with 2 health?
Let's go for the one with 2 health.
Yeah. So that's gonna die.
Yeah.
Reckless move on my part, but 3 damage to your life total from the other creature.
Lovely.
And I'm going to use Kiora's ability. I'm going to tap her down to 6 and untap my goblin in my second main See, that's the power of Kiora right there. And that's the end of my go. So I'm going to pass to Natalie.
Okay. I draw a card. Oh, untap. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. I am going to play a land. And I am going to tap one and cast Instant Fury.
Ooh, sounds friendly.
So, Unleash Fury, not Instant Fury, but it is an instant card. So this doubles the power of a target creature until end of turn. So I'm going to apply that to my Stormcaller. So instead of 3/2, he's now 6/4. And because I've casted a non-creature spell, my Heartfire Immolator gets a +1/1 until the end of turn. So now that's a 3/3.
Yep.
So, Rob, just remind me of the stats of your creatures.
Well, I've got a 3/3, and that's just a Planeswalker, so it's got no ability to defend. It's just a little separate target sitting on the board.
So I'm going to, yeah, you know what? I am going to tap another land and sacrifice my Heartfire Immolator. So when I sacrifice my Heartfire Immolator, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker. So 3/3, I'm going to deal that damage to your planeswalker.
So that's 3 damage to my planeswalker.
Yep, and I'm going to attack you. I'm going to attack you with my Stormcaller, which is a 6/4.
So was that directed at me, Natalie?
Yes.
So is that attacking my life total or my planeswalker?
I'm going to attack your life total.
For 6.
For 6.
I will take 6 down to 12. That's Stormcaller.
Yeah. And I think that passes my turn.
Natalie, you were absolutely born for a red deck. I'm gonna untap.
Like if I cause this kind of damage, it makes other kind of damage.
And then a little bit extra.
Got it.
Yeah, it's fun.
You've got it. You've got it.
Okay. So I've drawn, I've untapped. I'm just gonna and I'm very aware that I now say introduce, but I'll introduce
I hadn't meant to make you self-conscious, Sarah. I was
right.
meant out of pure affection.
I'll continue. So I'm going to introduce a creature. So we are, who are we? Is it Ceruli Caretaker? And she has Defender. So I can tap an untapped creature I control and add 1 mana of any colour if I tap. That's right, isn't it?
So you would need to tap her and another creature to get the mana.
To get the mana.
Yeah.
Yes. Just a defender, just a kind, caring defender at 0/3.
Not going to hurt anyone.
No, just
defending.
Yeah, just defending. And that's my turn. I'll pass to Rob.
Okay, right. I'm going to untap. But before I play, we might as well throw in our practical research section. So as we mentioned before, it's perhaps often said that exercise will help depression, and there's loads of good studies about physical exertion and endorphin release in the brain, but it doesn't necessarily follow that the same physical activity is going to produce the same results for everyone. There can be all sorts of complicating factors, which mean an activity would make you feel not as good as other people, might even make you feel worse. And that's where this grading system is really useful. So you might read things that are supposed to make you feel better. If you do this, it's going to make you feel better. And you try them and it doesn't work. It can be really disheartening. And that's because we all have different values about things. So this is where the grading on achievement, closeness, and enjoyment and importance can really, really be a key thing in figuring out what activities are the best for you. So when I've tried this process before, I found out that things that are most beneficial for me are like building things or writing practical resources for other people to use. These feel almost kind of like buzzed and just sort of better about everything, really. So knowing those things and having some of these projects ongoing can be really, really helpful for me. And whilst we're talking about magic, it's all very well for me to say being in last place, but it's not always about the winning, okay? We talk about achievement and closeness, sometimes pulling off an insane combination of cards or a move that you really like, or just getting that one with the funky artwork out and on the table is enough to make you feel accomplished. And I remember the very first pre-release event I went to, I said before, War of the Spark. There was one card I was hoping to get. I was hoping to draw Massacre Girl and pull off some mad combo which destroys everyone's creatures. And you know what? I managed it once. I mean, I lost the game still, but I did manage to sort of pull off that move, and I felt really, really good about that. And in the midst of that, you're connecting with people, so you can only have that kind of closeness and enjoyment. And for me, challenging myself to do those sorts of things and going out and meeting new people was quite important as well. So it did score very highly for me on that. And as we go round, maybe we might share some other things that for us have been scoring really highly, or maybe something about how we went about doing that process. All of which is a precursor for me playing another forest. There we go.
The build-up.
Where we were going. Okay, so I don't like the fact that my Planeswalker is down to 3 health. So I'm going to play down a Pollen Bright Druid. So it's only a 1/1, but it has an ability when it enters the battlefield. I can choose. I can put a +1/+1 counter on something, or I can proliferate, which means, as we said before, giving another counter of a kind that's already on a creature or planeswalker or player. So I'm going to give myself another +1/+1 token on that one and increase my planeswalker loyalty to 4. And I am then going to tap another 3 mana. Play down the sorcery here, which is called Savage Smash. So a target creature I control gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and it fights a target creature I don't control. So I'm going to do this to my goblin, okay? So it's going to turn into a 6/6 temporarily, and it's going to fight Natalie's Stormcaller.
Oh no. Oh no. That means it dies.
Unless you've got some instant speed spell that will buff its.
No, I don't. Bye-bye,
There
Storm.
we go. So that goes to the graveyard, and then I will declare an attack. So it's now going to attack you for 6.
Oh.
I
can't defend.
Well, I was just deciding in my head where it was going, and I think it's actually going towards Sarah.
Oh.
The 6/6 coming at you. Well, I suppose technically it's a 6. Oh, I've messed up here. And what was the native power on your Stormcaller, Natalie, before it died?
It was 3/2.
Ah, so it's actually a 6/3 at the moment.
Okay, so okay.
So don't worry, it doesn't bring your.
I'm still my Stormcaller's still dead.
Yeah, but my creature's only got 3 health on it. But I've committed now, so it's coming at you, Sarah.
Well, I can defend for 3.
Yeah, you know what, I hadn't taken into account the fact that it had already taken damage there. I was too busy trying to clear all the creatures off the board that I forgot.
Oh, you've successfully done that.
Count.
Yeah, well done.
Well done, you've cleared
they
all
are
of them.
off the board, other than mine. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I did do that, but I was hoping to keep hold of my my creature.
Well done, you achieved something.
I did. I'm not sure it's made me feel terribly good though. My enjoyment factor is low on that.
Yes,
one.
did that make you feel close? Because it did not make you feel close.
I feel it's actually probably like a negative score on that one.
I feel like my importance factor though of what you've done has risen.
Well, there we go. So you get in the hang of how these things can be done organically. There we go. So I'm gonna pass the go to you now, Natalie.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Rob. I'm just going to untap and I'm going to draw. So I guess for me, I think you raised a really good point, Rob, in that when you have to really think about what's important for you and what are your own values, because everyone enjoys different things and people find different things important for them. Because I know when I felt low, people will try and offer advice, and sometimes they'll say things like, oh, like I'm going to say yoga's been really helpful for me. And when I try it, I go, oh, actually, it didn't do me anything. But then when I evaluate it and look over, it's actually not something I enjoy or something that wasn't important for me. So when I think about my own valued activities, I'm glad you mentioned gaming, Rob, because for me, actually, something that was really important for me, particularly over the Christmas period, was I was playing a video game myself. However, it was called Hades, and if people aren't aware, it's like a roguelike game. So if you die in the game, you have to go back all the way to the beginning, and you slowly build up your stats. So then each time you try again, you're slightly stronger and your character's more buffed up. And I remember the sense of achievement I got when I first defeated Hades and I did a first complete run. And each time I played that game, I felt like it was very enjoyable for me. I achieved something because each time I got a little bit further. And I didn't necessarily feel close, or it wasn't necessarily important, but the other two were really high for me. Other things that I really enjoy is rock climbing. I like going with other people because that's a chance for me to get some physical exercise that I enjoy and I find important for me. But I also get some closeness because I go with my friends. Unfortunately, that's not something I've been able to do recently because of how the world is. So I've had to substitute things like D&D nights, or maybe just going for walks with friends instead. But I think it's so important to recognize that not everything, everyone's very different. Everyone has different values, and there are different areas. Some people value family contact more. Some people value friendship. Some people value more of their personal spiritual needs. So I think it's important to think about what's important in your life, and then you can kind of make activities around those key areas.
Yeah, absolutely. You bring up a really good point, Natalie, about, I think it relates particularly to the closeness one you mentioned, is that what could be a close activity for some people could just be someone else could experience it and go, you know what, I just felt completely disconnected from everyone around me. I didn't feel like I connected at all. So it just goes to show how the same activity can be so drastically different for different people, and we can't expect it to be the same. Sorry, I've jumped on the end of that.
No, that's okay. So what am I going to do? I am going to tap a land and cast, no, yeah, and tap 2 lands even. There we go. And I am going to summon, ooh, destroy my deck, summon Chandra's Piling. You may remember this from a few games ago. So whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, Chandra's Piling gets a +1 and 0 and gains double strike until the end of its turn. So it deals both first strike and regular combat damage.
Ooh.
I am then going to tap another land, cast an instant, and deal 2 shock damage to any target because the instant is shock. So because you got rid of my Storm Cooler, I'm going to deal 2 to you, Rob.
Is that to my health, my Planeswalker, or my elf?
Oh, what is your elf stats?
It's a 1/1.
Yeah, let's deal it to your elf.
Well, there we go.
And then because of the non-combat damage, my Chandra's Piling now becomes a 2/3 and it gets double strike. So it deals both the first strike and regular combat damage. So basically I get to hit something twice.
True, but I hate to be this guy, but it is still summoning sick this turn.
It is, that is true.
It won't be able to.
Nope, that's good.
It won't be able to capitalize on it this turn, but just
no,
demonstrates how easy it is to buff that thing up.
Yeah, I get very excited and I run away with things. So thank you for reminding me.
Well, I think that's a red characteristic, so that's in keeping with your character, Natalie, entirely.
Well, I'm going to pass my turn then.
Okay, so I'll untap. And I think just to add on to what you've both said really about those kind of valued activities and things like that, I think also it's really important to kind of keep in mind that with achievement, it doesn't have to be a kind of massive thing that you've achieved. It can be really, really small things. So kind of really noticing what you've done, you know, even if it's, you know, added a couple of minutes onto something that you want to do to increase that enjoyment, that's an achievement. It doesn't have to be kind of something completed or a new skill or anything like that. It can just be really small. And for me, I really enjoy roller skating. You know, it's something that I've been able to do throughout COVID on my own. And then as things have got a little bit more normal, I can do it with other people. So that also ticks off that closeness for me as well. And, you know, I can learn new skills, new tricks, which, you know, each time is a nice little achievement for me. But, you know, even if I don't learn something new, if I've managed to just skate for 10 minutes, that's a bit of an achievement. So learning to celebrate the small things, I think, is what I've focused on with my roller skating lately.
I think that's a really good phrase there, celebrating the small things, as opposed to achievements. Perhaps got a very grand sense about it, but sometimes it's just doing the simplest things. Sometimes for the first time, like you know, taking something back to a shop, even, or you know, saying hello to a stranger or something like that. It can be really, really significant. And
I completely agree.
Excellent.
Like sometimes an achievement could be if you're having a really bad day and you manage to just have a shower. Like that was something you might have been putting off and you managed to get that done. That's still an achievement. So completely agree, Sarah. Completely agree.
The key there is not to grade your achievements against other people's. These people who seem to get 1,000,001 things done in a day. They're different people. They're not you.
Yeah.
You grade your achievements by your own measure. I think that's really important.
Yeah. And also by each day, you know, just because the day before you managed to shower and, you know, get dressed doesn't mean that today, you know, your achievement can just be getting out of bed type thing. So yeah, it's kind of relative for sure. Talking about achievement or lack of,
are you able to draw a land? Is that the achievement for this turn?
I mean, yeah. So
I hadn't wanted to say anything, but I was aware you only had 2 on the board for a while.
Yeah, and I've been watching both of yours stack nicely. Yeah. So we're going to tap, and I think Okay, so we're going to introduce a creature. So this is Windrake. So my creature has flying. It's just 2/2, nice and humble and subtle, but it's got flying, which is nice. And that's my turn. Thank you.
Lovely.
I love how you describe it as humble. It's a humble 2/2.
It's just trying to stop us from destroying it, is what it is. It's a transparent attempt to curry favour and being straight through it.
Absolutely not. No, I categorically deny.
Of course not. Well, I'm going to tap 4 land and play down a Frenzied Arynx. So it's a cat, and it has the riot ability, which means it comes in with its choice of a +1 counter or haste. And I'm once again going to select the +1 counter. It has trample as an ability. It's a native 3/3, but now a 4/4 due to its counter. And I can pay 6 mana to give it +3/+0, but that's quite expensive. So in my next, it's obviously not got haste, so it's summoning sick. I'm going to tip down Kiora to 3 loyalty points and untap this mountain. I'm then going to tap it again, and this forest to play down another Pollen Bright Druid. So it has a choice of putting a +1 counter or proliferating. And it's going to proliferate. So it's going to put another +1 counter on my cat and put Kiora back up to 4. So she went down to 3 and now back up to 4. There she is. And that is going to be the end of my go. So to you, Natalie.
Okay, untap my lands. All righty, what am I gonna do? I am going to tap all 4 and summon my Pyroceratops. So it's an elemental dinosaur and it has trample and it is a 2/3. So, and then whenever I cast a non-creature spell, I can put a +1/+1 counter on my Pyroceratops. And I'm going to pass my turn.
Okay. So let's untap. And draw. Okay, and then we're going to tap my lands again and introduce another creature for my flying army.
It's always nice to meet your creatures.
So this is an MP Real Voyager. My scout has flying and trample. And whenever he deals combat damage to a player, I get that many energy counters. And my scout is a 2/3.
So I remember we very cruelly got rid of that very quickly last time.
Yes.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't forgotten.
I hadn't thought you would.
So we are going to tap my lovely dragon Windrake, and I think Rob, I think it's coming for you.
So it's 2 damage, right? Is it?
Yes.
So that's down to 10. There we go. We've got nothing with reach or anything interesting like that.
Lovely.
So the flying army is taking shape.
Very slowly. But yeah. And with that, I'll pass my turn.
Right, I shall untap my lands there and draw card. Okay, so okay, yeah, I can do that. So I'm going to tap 3, and I'm going to play a sorcery called Courage in Crisis. I get to put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature, and then I get to proliferate. So, first order of business is to put a +1/+1 on my elf, and then I get to proliferate. So it's going to get another one. Its mate is going to get another one, and Kiora is going to go up to 5 loyalty. Okay. So okay, first of all, I'm going to tap my forest and my mountain to play Forced Landing. Put target creature with flying on the bottom of its owner's library. And I feel bad for your Voyager, Sarah, because it never seems to get the chance to go off. But if you would be so kind as to place it on the bottom of your library. And then my Arynx, my 6/6 Arynx is going to come at Natalie, and my 3/3 elf at you, Sarah.
I am going to block with my Chandra's Piling for like 1/3, so it goes.
It goes, but it prevents the damage. And
Yep.
Sarah?
I've taken the damage. I've taken the life.
You've taken your 3
I've
damage.
taken the hit. Yeah.
There we go. So in
I wasn't prepared for 6.
my next main phase, I'm going to tap down Kiora to 4 and untap my Arynx. And just in case it's worth knowing, I now have no cards in my hand. If we were playing around a table, you'd be able to see that, but it's worth declaring I'm now cardless and just top decking at any given point. But passing the go to you, Natalie.
Okay. So I'm going to untap my land. Boop, 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 boop.
Oh, I've just realised I made a mistake in that previous engagement. My Arynx had trample, but I forgot that, so that's my problem. Just for anyone watching, that was my problem. My bad.
We're happy for it to be your problem, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. It's fair. The turn's over, you know. But just to own up to that fact for all those viewers who are thinking, what an idiot. Yeah, yeah.
I am going to tap 3. Tap 3. And I'm going to summon Chandra's Spitfire. So this creature has flying. And whenever an opponent is dealt non-combat damage, Chandra's Spitfire gets +3/+0 to the end of its go. And you've got a 6. What have you got on your side, Rob?
I've got a 6/6 in defense untapped. Yeah.
Does it go down to 6/5 because my piling defended?
No, that was on my turn. So it healed back its damage at the end of each turn.
Nope, thank you.
But sometimes it's when there's multiple instances of damage within the same turn that I forget about them and wind up losing creatures.
No problem.
As
Okay.
we experienced.
And Sarah, what's on your side?
Nothing. I've got a tapped 2/2, but nothing to defend with.
I'll declare an attack then, just with my Pyroceratops onto you for it's a 2/3, so for 2 damage.
To me.
Yeah. I can't touch Rob at the moment, so
I mean, it's very much a battle between the two of you for who can knock the other one out, really, in terms of the overall standings. Although I could play a 10-point blinder.
I mean, I'm happy with second place, Natalie. So without, you know.
I just want to get rid of Rob 6/6. I just don't like it. I don't like it that it's there. But no, I'm going past my turn.
Okay. We're hanging in there, Sarah. We're hanging in there. We're in tapping.
The answers are there.
Are they? I don't feel they are. Okay. What do you have down, Natalie?
My Pyroceratops is tapped. That's a 2/3, and then my other one is a 1/3, but it's flying.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if this is a stupid thing. Okay, so I'm going to tap this. What was your flying? Sorry.
1/3.
So I'm going to play a sorcery called Takedown, and I can either deal 4 damage to a target creature with flying, or 1 damage to each creature with flying. So I'm going to deal 4 damage to your flying, Natalie, if that's okay.
Sad times.
Sorry, I'm just going to go out in a
blaze of glory.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we're just going to tap my flying creature and aim it at you, Rob. So I've declared an attack.
At me or my planeswalker?
At you.
At me. Okay, down to 8, because I have nothing that can halt a flyer.
I'm doing my part in this, Natalie. So.
Fair enough.
And that's me.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to untap. And I'm going to see what the top of the deck has for me. Oh, exciting. It's a land. There we go. However, though, crucially, I need to untap my elf. Before I take my turn, we should briefly move on to our hatching plans segment. So this is where we think practically about, well, how can we take the ideas that we've talked about today and actually use them? So we've already talked about possibly keeping an activity log where we record these achievement, closeness, enjoyment, importance factors. And you know what, that's really, really helpful to do at any point, no matter how you're feeling, just to kind of realize how your day-to-day activities score on this cycle. And if you do it, then it's going to be you'll be pre-armed with the information for when you're feeling not so good. But whenever you can do it, whenever you can really do it whenever. So that would be my advice: is just try it out for a week. Just jot down what activities you do and how they score. That's it, really, and the rest of it will be very. You'll know what to do from then because you've got all the information at your hands. I don't think there's much more to say. Other than I am going to tap all of my land, but he had nothing in hand, you say. What's he doing? Well, my Arinx has the ability to get +3/+0 until end of turn. So I am going to send this 9/3 at you, Natalie, and this 3/3 at you, Sarah.
I've got nothing to defend, so I take 9 damage.
Which takes you down to what, Natalie?
That takes me down to 8.
Okay, and then 3 damage to you, Sarah, unless you've got some instant or flash speed shenanigans to pull out.
No. No.
So that larynx, is it harynx or larynx?
Arynx, although that's
Arynx.
still not, it's still not a word that I know.
That needs to go next turn.
Well, whilst we're speaking of the Arynx, I'm going to tap Kiora down to 3 and untap it. And I'm passing the go to you, Natalie.
Oh, I'm going to untap my lands.
And I'll see if I regret splitting my damage there or not.
So just to add what you were saying, Rob, I think when you say it's like writing down your activities, but also I think for me it's really important to plan them as well, like give them a time and a date to when you're going to do these activities, because I think for me, I know I fall into the trap of when I feel low, I have zero motivation and I don't want to do anything, and it's so easy for me to give in to that temptation of I don't feel like I want to do this. Yeah. So if I schedule in a planned activity, so I tell myself like a week in advance that actually on this day I'm going to do this, and then that kind of gives me a little bit of a push to actually do the activity. And something I do is I get other people involved in the activity, so then I can't back out, and that helps me with that just helps me with also because I value being with my friends, I value being with family, and also that closeness as well, because I know that's kind of what I need. I'm a bit of an extrovert, I feed off being around other people, but it also stops me from giving into that very demotivated, that I don't want to do anything kind of mindset. So I would say my tip, schedule it in maybe a week in advance, your planned activity, like give it a time slot, give it a date, come up with a plan how you're going to do this activity, and if you need to do a bit of problem solving around it, like if what's going to stop me from doing this activity, what can I do? So for me, I get other people and I make plans with other people, so then I can't back out, at least for me. So there we go. Oh, I had to untap my Pyroceratops.
Now take Rob down.
I don't think I can, so I'm depending on you, Sarah.
You seen how many mana I've got?
Yeah, but you took down my flyer, so I can't attack Rob directly because he's got.
I didn't want to bring that up, but that seems to be the problem.
You kind of shot me in the foot, Sarah.
I need to have done something this game, and that's going to be my only achievement of this game.
I was going to say we've established it's important to achieve.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing I can really. Yes, the only other thing I can really do is I'm going to tap summon Chandra's Piling, and I'm going to pass my turn because I need all the defense I can get. Come on, Sarah, take down Rob.
Yeah,
I'm starting to feel slightly victimised here.
I mean, I wonder why. I'll take Rob down one tiny flying creature at a time. Also, good tip. I'm sorry if you mentioned this, Rob, but another thing that can be really helpful when you are noting down all your activities and you're doing your activity log is also identifying the times you're not doing anything. You know, so that kind of almost like negative space where you think, you know, even you're just not doing anything that gives you any value, you're not doing anything that gives you any enjoyment. Sometimes that can be, you know, just scrolling on social media a little bit, you know, you kind of just automatically, and actually, you know, you want to be doing something else, but identifying that time can be really helpful too, because then, yeah, you know, those excuses that we all make sometimes. You know, I just don't have time to do it. You know, I don't have time to go out and see people. I don't have time to, you know, plan. I don't have time for that. Actually, maybe sometimes that we do. So it can just be just as helpful to identify that time as important as the other times. So yes, so
yeah, that's really important. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, it's very easily overlooked, those times where we're seemingly doing little.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that sometimes spending time on social media, you know, just watching something that you enjoy, that's obviously fine, and if you value that, you know, great, and you enjoy that. But I think, you know, definitely a lot of us have times when actually we could be doing something that we get more enjoyment out, I think. Okay,
yeah.
and
or at the very least, perhaps even getting achievement out of it, because certainly like looking after like household chores and things like that, probably not that enjoyable, but we can feel good from the achievement off the back of them.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's important as well, because if it's something that you've been needing to do for a while.
Yeah, I think draw organisation is such a underestimated achievement, because it makes you feel really achieved for some reason. But yeah.
But as we say, we're all different. And maybe organising your drawers isn't as therapeutic for you as it is for Sarah, but why not give it a go?
Yeah, why not? Okay. So I've drawn. I don't know how pleased I am about it, but it's okay. It's okay. We're going. So I'm going to tap 2. I'm going to introduce a creature. It's a human lizard warrior. And so he is a 2/2. So I guess this just, Rob, this is a question for you because I'm not sure.
Yep.
So here we've got, I don't know if you can see that or not. I won't hold it up. So it's got 4.
If you explain the symbols, it's a 4 in a circle.
A 4 in a circle, and then 2 green mana, and it says adapt 4. If this creature has no +1/1 counters on it, put 4 +1/1 counters on it. So I'm guessing spending that mana.
Spending that mana, so that'd be 2 mana of the green and then 4 of any other colour. So it'd be 6 in total. So I dare say it's not going to be an issue for a little while.
Oh, what makes you say that?
I'm just.
And then we'll just do the usual. So we'll tap my flying Windrake and come for your life, Rob.
Okie dokie. Well, that's me down to 6 life. The lowest of all of us. I just want to make that nice and clear as this crusade continues.
But there is mana.
There is, but I've got no cards.
Yeah, but you've got plenty of mana.
Yeah, and right now it's something that I'm quite envious of.
Well, I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I've got some really wonderful creatures that I would like to introduce you all to.
Well, there you go. We've each got the thing the other person needs, Sarah.
Okay, and with that, I'm passing my turn.
Right, I'm going to untap all of my land and my elf and draw. Aha! Okay, I don't know if that's actually helpful right now, compared to doing my funky thing with the Arings, but we spoke earlier about how achieving and doing certain things is perhaps more important than winning. So I'm going to tap 3 and I'm going to put down my new Zhang Yangu. So the one from the expansion pack. So he comes in with only 3 loyalty. He has an ability where each creature I control that has a +1 counter on it can tap to give 1 mana of any colour. And he has a -1 ability, which is to put a +1 counter on a target creature. So his first move is to go down to 2 and to put another +1 counter on the beloved Arings.
Is that now a 7/7?
It is currently a 7/7, yes. Which I think is fun.
Fun for you.
yeah, real fun.
It's left me, even doing various mana business, it's left me kind of 1 mana short of being able to slap the extra free attack on it. What's the stats on your lizard, Sarah?
My
curious.
lovely, yeah, of course. 2/2.
You know what? I think it's your flying Drake, Sarah, that is going to be keeping to egg me down. So I'm going to declare an attack, which is this 3/3 and this 7/7 with trample, both coming at you, Sarah.
I think you've just ended the game for me, haven't you?
That was what I was going for.
Yeah.
10 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever you do, Lizard Man, he can't kill anything or get in the way of enough damage.
Yeah. Oh.
So there's always going to be 7 damage that comes through.
Yeah.
So in my final stages of my turn, I'm going to tip Kiora down to 2 and untap everyone's favourite boy, the Frenzied Arix.
Is he everyone's
There he
favourite
is.
boy? Is he everyone's favourite boy,
Or is
really?
is he just yours? Let's be honest.
And to be honest, I have kind of presumed gender as well. The artwork is not massively clear, so
All right.
I'm happy to proceed under the assumption for now. But yeah, I will pass the turn to you, Natalie.
Okay, let's untap. Okay, and draw. Okay, remind me. Okay. Ooh, this could work in my favor. Okay.
That's what I like to hear.
Good.
I am going to tap 2 and cast Chandra's Triumph. So Chandra's Triumph deals +3 damage to a target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. I don't have Chandra's Chandra planeswalker on the field, so it won't be 5 damage. So that's 3 damage. So so your Arix is now 7/7, isn't it?
It is 7/7, yes.
Okay, so cool.
So how much damage does it deal? Sorry.
It deals 3, so it takes
So
it down.
You could do 3 damage, is it to creatures and planeswalkers or to any target?
Any to a target creature or planeswalker. So I'm just going to do it. I might do it to your.
You can kill my elf, or you can kill either of my planeswalkers.
Or I could take your thingy down to 4.
It would then heal itself at the end of the turn, but it depends what else you're planning.
That's the thing. I've got other things planning.
Oh, wow, there we go. There we go.
So, yep. So I'm going to take it down to 4.
Okay, sure. And that is of course non-combat damage.
It is. So I get
just in case you're unaware of that.
So I get a +1/1 counter on my Pyroceratops, which I'm going to use a cut up bit of post-it note. And my Chandra's Piling now gets +1/0, so it becomes a 2/3, but it gets double strike until the end of turn. So I'm going to declare an attack with my Chandra's Piling. For it gets a double attack, so can I just with double strike? Do I pick? Can I pick who I want to attack?
So it's the same choice as usual. You could pick my life total or one of my planeswalkers to attack.
So I'm going to go for life. I'm going to go with life. Sorry. I'm going to declare attacks on. I'm going to declare an attack with my Chandra's Piling on your life points.
Okay, so it's a 2 attack, but with double strike at the moment, and my Arix is down to 4 health.
Yeah.
So it would die if I put it in the way, or I can take 4 damage to my life, which leaves me on 2, which if you're holding a shock in your hand is fatal. But the only way that I'm going to win is by keeping that Arix alive. So I'm going to not declare a blocker and let your piling double strike my life.
Cool.
So unless there's any further activity.
Can I declare? Oh, I know that was my. Can I also declare another attack now after? Can I pick?
You would traditionally you would declare attackers all at once, but if you want to
Okay.
declare both of them as attackers, I will allow you to do that, Natalie.
Cool. I will then. So my creature is a Oh wait. No, that won't. There's no point me doing that. I don't think.
Okay.
No,
so we're just going in with the piling for 2 lots of 2 damage. So that's me down to 2 life.
This is very tense.
There's a lot riding on this.
I don't think I can do anything else.
Okay. So it could all rest on what I draw out of this top of the deck. And that is unfortunate for one of us.
For me?
For whom?
Well, I'm going to tap 3 and play. I mean, it's fitting. This is one of the few cards I kept from my original deck. Confidence from Strength. It's a sorcery that gives target creature +4/+4 and trample until end of turn. So I'm going to give that to my elf. So that becomes a 7/7 with trample. And I'm going to tip down Zhang Yangu to put another +1 counter on the divisive boy, the Arix there. And then I'm going to declare both of these as attackers coming at you. So that's 7 damage on there and 8 damage on there. So it's 15 trample damage.
That takes me out. That takes me out. You win.
There we go. I'm back to the point of achievement. I really built this deck around getting +1 counters onto things and making them multiply. So it is quite. There's some enjoyment in seeing it happen. Not delighting in other people's suffering, but when something comes off like that, it is quite pleasing.
Yes, well done.
I just looked at the next card I was going to draw, and it was Slaying Fire.
Destroy all creatures.
No, it was Slaying Fire. So when I summon it, it's an instant, and I deal 3 damage to any target. So I could have just done that to your life.
Dead.
I mean, my next card was a land.
And that was going to be getting all your big creatures out.
Yeah.
That's what you needed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear. So at the end of that, because it's double points Friday, which is
conveniently,
which was not a mechanism I invented to get myself back in the game at all, means that I get 10 points for coming first. Natalie gets 6 points for coming second, so 2 lots of 3, and Sarah gets 2 points for coming. For getting knocked out first there. So the overall standings for the week are in a commendable bronze medal position is Sarah on 14 points. But in an unprecedented and slightly awkward situation, there is a tie for first place on 17 points between Natalie and myself. So we can organise some sort of timeshare over the trophy. I feel that seems appropriate.
Didn't you predict this last time that
he did? Yeah,
there was a reason why I just made a massive swing at Sarah first, just to limit her point getting. Because if Sarah had finished second today, would have been one more point there. But there we go. So we'll move on to our sort of wrapping up section in a moment, but first of all, I would just like to convey my extreme thanks to both Natalie and to Sarah for joining me this week. And you know what, I've enjoyed it. I've had fun. I think even if we weren't recording it and streaming it, it's been a worthwhile thing to do. So thank you very much for joining us. For those of you who have been watching and have made it through to this point, really well done. I think the trophy should be coming out to you at this point. But hopefully there's been something in this week that you've been able to take on board and that you will find useful. Our closing statement for this week is actually a borrowed statement for one which is normally not very encouraging, I suppose. And it's quite simply, you do you, which is normally sort of like, well, get out of my face, whatever. But in this sense, we mean exactly what we were talking about earlier. Your valued activities, the things that bring you joy, that bring you energy, are different to everyone else. There's no point using other people's standards, other people's techniques, and expect them to work exactly the same for you. So, you do you. Now, lastly, if you've been watching this because you're struggling with your mental health, or you have periods where you do, I mean, we all do from time to time. We've covered some of the basic principles and techniques, maybe some of the stuff that underpins anxiety and some of the little things you might be able to do every day. But in the same way as physical health, sometimes there's things we can do on our own, and sometimes there's things that we need to reach out to an experienced professional or just find out a little bit more about through other people. Reach out to people nearest you, go to your doctor. You can sort of check out information online through Mind and Young Minds if you're young, and if you're they're really great resources here in the UK. And if things are really desperate, you can reach out to like emergency services and Samaritans as well. If you really feel like there's no hope, don't give up. There's help out there for you. But for all of us, let's look out for those around us. We've spent the last year isolating ourselves to protect other people. Maybe now we should take that notion and figuratively flip it around. Reaching out in order to have an effect on people's mental well-being. Maybe that's through a message, maybe it's through meeting for a drink, or even through a game of something like Magic. So, like I say, we spent the last year isolating to protect each other. Maybe now we should reach out to help protect each other as well. So, I hadn't prepped Natalie and Sarah for this, but any closing words before we finish?
You said so many good things, Rob. I absolutely love the phrase "you do you." No, you do you, because actually you know yourself best and you know what works best for you. 20 millions of people might say, oh yes, have a salad, do exercise, but at the end of the day, if you feel that's not important to you, don't do it. Don't feel pressured that you have to do something that works for someone else. Think about what's important to you. Think about your different values. Is it family? Is it just going down to play a game? Is it going on a walk? Is it a very niche hobby that you have, like puppeteering or collecting something? Find out what works for you. And like Rob said, if you are struggling, reach out. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You don't have to do this on your own. The world has been a bit of a mess this year, and hopefully we can start looking forward to meeting others again and being able to reunite with loved ones. So please don't be afraid to reach out. Reach out to a friend, family, someone who's important to you, or a professional. So GP, mental health services, Childline, Samaritans. Don't feel you have to do this on your own.
100%.
I don't think there's anything more I can add. It was so beautifully put. The only thing I would say, and is I say this to all of the people that I see in my work, is, you know, in that moment, they are the most important person. You are the most important person in this experience. So if you are struggling, yeah, you know, make sure that you are the focus of that, and you're doing it for you, and you're kind of finding that in the right place. So yeah.
Excellent. And what better note than to sign off for this Mental Health Awareness Week here in the UK. So from Play Being, let's look after ourselves and each other. And that's all from us. If you'd like to, if you've really enjoyed what you've seen, please do leave a comment and stuff like that. I hope, you know, who knows, there might be some more stuff in the future. But let's look after ourselves and after each other. But from Play Being, for now, bye-bye.
Toodaloo.
Bye.